Welcome to FiceFilm. Today we will explain the 2012 sci-fi action movie The Avengers. Warning, this video contains spoilers. Enjoy. The people on Earth discovered the Tesseract, which the aliens, unidentified ally, will get back for, was being discussed by a group of not attractive aliens called the Chitauri in outer space. The people now are in panic as the SHIELD has confirmed the notice for evacuation. Have you ever wondered why they are evacuating? The SHIELD couldn't control the Tesseract energy and didn't know the minimum safe distance. And suddenly, it activated and opened a door across the universe. It released powerful energy that might collapse the entire building and form a portal, which was a doorway to the other end of the space. Unexpectedly, Loki went out of the portal, carrying out his magic staff. Loki fought the soldiers with his magic staff. Then he quickly slaughtered all of them. After that, he touched Dr. Selvig and the SHIELD agent Hawkeye with his magic staff to become his soldiers. He enslaved them to help him escape. Then, they ran away from the SHIELD agents while the basement collapsed. Fury was still pursuing Loki and his comrades, riding on the chopper, but it crashed after Loki counterattacked with his magic staff. Cut to men in formal attire, these men tortured a redhead restrained to a chair in a beautiful-looking warehouse in Eastern Europe. It turns out that she is the Black Widow, named Natasha Romanoff, who is ready to frame these jerks for good. A phone call from Agent Coulson threatened to carpet bomb the building unless they put her on the phone. Little do these men know, they are going to be killed by Black Widow. She hits their so-called leader and fights the rest of the group. Even though she's tied in the chair, she defeated them. Somewhere in the city of Kolkata, India, Dr. Bruce Banner is treating the poor from the slums. Suddenly, a little girl begs for him to treat his elder. They immediately go to the almost ravaged house, and unknowingly, he gets to meet Black Widow. And this might be the first that they met each other. She gets to ask Dr. Bruce Banner to help locate the gamma radiations from the Tesseract. And there's no other scientist who can trace it but Dr. Banner only. What a mad scientist. Finally, he joined after a heated discussion. In the meanwhile, Fury makes an effort to persuade the unidentified individuals running SHIELD that bringing these heroes together is a smart move. Meanwhile, Loki and his hardworking combat crew are at work on the Tesseract. He stops to talk to his evil extraterrestrial allies, who emphasize how irritated they will be if he fails to deliver the Tesseract. Cut to Steve Rogers, who is whacking way too many punching bags while worrying about the incident that kept him frozen around 60 years. When Fury appears and requests assistance in recovering the Tesseract, he agrees since he is a good soldier. Iron Man is out in New York working up an arc reactor that will power his entire structure forever. All of a sudden, Agent Coulson interrupts him and his girlfriend Pepper, and Tony is quite irritated by Coulson's request for assistance but eventually accepts after some push from Pepper. On the helicarrier, Captain America, Dr. Banner, and the Black Widow assemble in preparations to find the Tesseract. Then, the helicarrier ascends into the air. Through its reflector, it has a function that can disappear. Somewhere, from nowhere, Dr. Selvig is so happy while doing his job under the spell of Loki. He tells Loki that his study of Tesseract has shown him more than knowledge. In the meanwhile, Loki and Hawkeye discuss some spooky ideas involving someone's eyeballs. Afterward, to obtain a Tesseract-based gadget that would enable them to accelerate the Tesseract, Loki and his men break into a fancy museum. Loki flips the poor man and struck his eyes with the eye scanner or something. What a gross scene. On the other side, Hawkeye is holding the same device as Loki while trying to open the door. People are in a state of panic. They quickly run outside the museum, finding a safe place. Then, Loki immediately starts telling them to bow and to kneel before him. And Captain America shows up. Captain America and Loki are now in a heated duel. Black Widow tells him to drop his weapon, but Loki answers them with an attack. Thank God, they avoid it. They continue to fight each other, and you might think Captain America will be defeated, but no. Iron Man suddenly appears in the scene. He flies from nowhere and fires Loki with his amazing weapon from his palms. Loki humbly surrenders, so they load him up in the Black Widow's swanky aircraft and take him back to the helicarrier. When they return to the helicarrier, the god Thor shows up and interrupts the journey. He quickly catches Loki and swats Iron Man around. Captain America reluctantly follows Iron Man in stopping him since they can let Loki leave until he informs them where the Tesseract is. Thor and Loki have a brief conversation about their family. He thought Loki was dead. Thor wants the Tesseract and Loki mocks him mercilessly in the manner of a daddy always love you more way. Loki bursts all his resentment towards his brother Thor, but Iron Man breaks their drama. Thor throws his hammer towards Iron Man. Thor summons lightning through the hammer and strikes Iron Man with it. What's funnier? Instant charging from Thor, and Captain America enters the scene. Back on the helicarrier, Fury displays his sleek new Hulk cage, which now cages Loki and is built to emerge from the ground at 30,000 feet. The Tesseract is still out there, even though they have Loki's magic staff. The two characters that suffer the most are Captain America and Iron Man. Iron Man smudgy claims that he has never had to make the ultimate sacrifice, and Cap calls him a huge jerk. Additionally, S.H.I.E.L.D. is attempting to create weapons using the Tesseract, which the group is not at all happy with. Thor is questioned by the Black Widow, who plays the game like no one's watching, and she informs Fury that Loki intends to release the Hulk. While the Avengers are arguing, Loki's evil mojo channels through the staff, and they didn't even notice it. Dr. Banner even says that they are not a team, but they are chemical mixtures that create chaos. While they are in the middle of a heated argument, the other side are already preparing for their next move, and Dr. Banner realizes what's going on, and the explosion happens. The helicarrier is under attack. Everyone is in panic. Number 3 engine is down. Hawkeye and his team are ready for another battle. Meanwhile, Hulk nearly attacks Agent Romanoff. Thanks to Thor, he saves Natasha's day, but Hulk fights with Thor. While Captain America and Iron Man are in the destroyed engine room, they are trying to fix it. And the Green Man Hulk and the God Thor are still killing each other. Hulk is enraged and suddenly jumps the fighter jet. All of a sudden, the helicarrier system shuts down itself. The helicarrier slowly drops down from the air. Then Loki escapes from his prison. Loki dropped the prison and fell right out from the helicarrier down to the earth. Yet, Agent Coulson finds a way to get even with Loki. He immediately fires the weapon towards Loki. To start the helicarrier system, Iron Man pushes the rotor blade of the helicarrier. However, things continue to look terrible as Loki and his crew make their way to Stark Tower and the nearby power source to create a doorway to the Chitauri army. After waking up in a warehouse with a ceiling hole the size of the Hulk, Banner receives some motivations from a kind security guard and leaves for Manhattan to see if he can assist toward Loki's plan. Afterward, Black Widows and Hawkeye reconcile. Thor picks himself up, and the squad on the helicarrier prepares to go after Loki. First to arrive, Iron Man makes a failed attempt to detonate the Tesseract-powered device on the top that is intended to launch an invasion. When that fails, he switches to Plan B, nonchalantly threatening Loki to buy the rest of the squad some extra time to arrive. Now, the Tesseract opens the gate, interrupting him, and here comes the aliens. Eventually, Thor comes to give Loki a little smackdown, but the damage has already been done. The Chitauri army is on its way. Iron Man leaves to blow up the aliens. When Cap, Black Widow, and Hawkeye arrives, they conceive the NYC police and other concerned parties to evacuate the locals. Later, Thor and Dr. Banner join them, the latter of whom rides up on a motorcycle as Iron Man hurts a Moby Dick-sized extraterrestrial creature straight in their direction. When Dr. Banner hulks out, the monster falls. The 6 heroes unite behind Captain America, who presents an immediate strategy for assault. Yet, the S.H.I.E.L.D. higher-ups are not persuaded that the Avengers' butt-kicking will succeed, even though the Avengers make progress. And they unleash a nuclear weapon on Manhattan to destroy the aliens against Nick Fury's objections. Tony Stark, who is aware that it is a one-way trip, stops the missile's course and directs it to the wormhole connecting to the aliens' fleet. The Black Widow, with assistance from a recovered Dr. Selvig, shuts down the wormhole as the nuclear blast causes the aliens on the ground to disappear as if they had been suddenly disconnected. Stark exits it just before it closes, but he is unconscious and tumbling to the earth like a stone. The Hulk grabs him and throws him to the ground, where a gorilla-like bellow revives him. The Avengers triumph, and they go to enjoy some well-earned shawarma. In all fairness, Loki is being a really good sport about the whole situations after being formally apprehended. Footage of the Avengers triumph, as well as some of the uproar that results from the majority of Midtown Manhattan being covered in concrete, has surfaced. While the other Avengers split up, Thor travels back to Asgard with Loki and the Tesseract. Fury is asked by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Council why he let Loki and the Tesseract leave. He reveals that Loki will get Asgardian justice. The Tesseract is beyond their control, and the cosmos has a clear message for them to stay away from Earth. And these heroes save the Earth. They got so many fans from across the world.